a seat.
Engage, share,
Uncensored.
Hello, top of the day. Thank you for stopping by for another episode of Kitchen Closed. The kitchen really isn't closed this morning in its entirety. I felt like getting up, getting started on dinner, and so I made a homemade chicken and dumpling, a roasted chicken and dumpling. And I know it's going to be good because I felt that. It's gonna be so good. Go on, run that bag. Put vegetables in there. So that's what my morning was like. I got some stretches in, a little exercise, keep me strong and my limbs strong and tight and ready to move around. You know, you can get a little rusty if we're not putting effort into maintaining those strong bones. Today's episode is dissociation. I wanted to speak on this topic because I see a lot of people sharing their traumatic stories and experiences here on this platform. And that's good because speaking through trauma is definitely cathartic, it's therapeutic, it helps you recall other information that has been suppressed or lacking. There's been a gap, but talking really helps fill those gaps. When done, though, in a healthy and well meaning space. I do see some people talking on other platforms, not their own, but on other platforms, and there's no debrief. And as a mental health professional who does this every day, I often wonder about those people who are not getting a debrief. I mean, we have to be responsible with people who come and share their stories and present to us information that could become secondary trauma, you know, if not careful, but not just a secondary trauma, that primary trauma that the actual survivor or victim is experiencing. Who are they debriefing with after they come on these platforms and tell these ever expansive stories that again could be traumatic to other people? I don't see the behind the scenes. I do hope, I will be positive and say there might be a debrief going on behind the scenes that we don't see. I certainly hope so. If not, I would encourage people who are interviewing and talking to survivors or victims or people who were just telling their traumatic stories to debrief. Um, Look into the debrief process and just do your due diligence because we want to make sure we're helping and not harming when it comes to people. This is a great platform for people to engage in that sort of content and just get that release, but we have to be responsible as well. A debrief is necessary every time someone divulges traumatic events. All right, dissociation is what came to mind when I was thinking about this. And when we talk about dissociation, people may think, again, like always, crazy or out of your mind. Well, dissociation is certainly um, a phenomena in which a person can be out of their mind and body. It's not only that type of dissociation that we deal with. You and I, we deal with dissociation daily as well. You may not call it that, but that's what it is. For instance, you could be driving. How many of you have been driving? Put in the comments if you've been driving and you just made it to your destination and was like, how in the world did I get here? You were on autopilot. That's a form of dissociation. Anytime you're drawn from your conscious, that's dissociation. And what is the conscious? The conscious is the light that's shined our attention. Okay, the light is shined on our attention to a certain area. So think of a light. And if you had a flashlight and you were pointing that light toward a doorknob, that's the conscious. You are paying attention to the doorknob. That's your conscious. The things that you are readily accessing and paying attention to. You are in the present with that thing. That's your conscious. So if we had a flashlight and we shifted from the doorknob to the closet, our attention has shifted. Our awareness and our conscious level of awareness has shifted to the closet. Everything else is dark. That's not your conscious. That's the subconscious, the things that you're not readily paying attention to, you're not in the present with. So I say that to say we often dissociate, everybody, not just people who have experienced trauma, but people in everyday life. When we're driving, when we're reading a book that we absolutely love, we can't be pulled from it. You are absorbed into that thing. That is dissociation. Also, if you are doing a task that you cannot be distracted, you can't be bothered, hence the term unbothered. You can't be bothered. And so that now is a dissociation because you're solely focused on this one thing. You're all in, you're tuned in. So a form of tuning in is dissociation, and tuning out is also dissociation. When you find yourself dissociating, when you find yourself driving on autopilot, I'll give you some grounding techniques. I know you think grounding is, we would associate grounding with dissociation, getting away from everything. But no, it's quite the opposite. It's becoming conscious, it's becoming aware of our environments and our senses. And this is why it is very important for us to mind our gates and guard our gates. What are our gates? What we see, what we smell, what we taste, what we hear, what we feel. Did I say smell? Your senses. That's when you are present and aware. So when you see yourself dissociating, bring your attention back to your gates, to your senses. You can count them down. Take one finger. Okay, what do I see? I see this exit. I see this store. I see this landmark. Okay, that's your sight. What do I hear? I hear horns. I hear people scurrying in and out of traffic. I hear cars that need brakes. I hear people walking, laughing, and talking. Okay. What do you smell? I smell gas. I smell good food from restaurants. I smell the fragrance in my car. I smell the fragrance that I wear. Okay. What do you taste? I'm chewing on a piece of candy. I have a church peppermint in my mouth. I'm chewing gum. I taste the coffee from this morning. I taste breakfast. I taste lunch. Okay. What do you feel? That's awareness. Guard your gates and understand that you too, all of us, can dissociate from one time or another. And grounding is going to be very important in getting us focused again and attentive and present. Grounding doesn't mean detach and disconnect, it means come back to those senses so that you are present, aware, and one with time in that moment. I just wanted to come and talk about dissociation a little bit. Remember, you dissociate when you remove your conscious awareness away from anything that's happening, whether that's reading a book, driving on autopilot, focus on a task, you dissociate. But grounding is what's going to call you back and keep you present. And how do you ground? You count down your senses. What are you touching? Your steering wheel? Fixing your clothing? What do you smell? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? And that sixth sense intuition, what do you feel? When we see other people expressing or sharing such sensitive and sacred information about their trauma, just drop something positive in the comments. We never know if they had an opportunity to debrief. Have a great one. I'm ready to eat some of this chicken and dumplings. Bye.
Have a seat.